Hey, it's Tracy Hansen with TSS Paranormal Investigators again. I am going to read a story that was sent to me a few years ago. This took place in Iowa. It's actually from a family member who sent it, and this is some of the experiences they had gone through when they were growing up. And I'm not going to mention my family member's name, even though they said I could, because I'm also not going to mention their siblings, and that's just for privacy because not everyone wants their story told. Even though like there's little bits from them in the stories, but nothing very telling. So I'll just omit the names. All right, get this started. I have had crazy paranormal experiences for as long as I can remember. I would like to blame it on my large family, always growing, always fighting. Energy balled up in old houses. Could be anything like that. 7 young children, 2 young parents, and a religious grandmother, all on top of one another trying to make a household run as smoothly as possible. Both of my parents, my grandparents, aunts, and uncles on both sides have had multiple paranormal experiences, though I feel like most of my family's experiences were environmental, something attached to the old Victorian homes that we lived in. Something in the land. I believe through blood, though, hauntings can continue. Through constant exposure to paranormal experiences, entities, and haunted environments, I believe this caused myself and my brother to be more sensitive to energies. We hated moving constantly due to a fast-growing family, not only because our environment was not constant, no matter how hard our parents tried to keep us comfortable despite always moving, but because every house we went to, it seemed like there was something worse in the new house than the last. We were not the only ones to notice this. My parents and grandmother said with every move there would be more riled up energy. More things would move, be thrown, fly off the walls, be hidden, etc. I have considered maybe it wasn't the houses that were haunted, but we were. I have also thought maybe with every move we would drag things with us that attached itself to our items or our energy. Though every house we moved to was terrifying, I only have a select few situations that really stick out. As hard as it is to believe, when all you know is hauntings, when all you have known is hauntings, the experiences become less prominent and more of an everyday routine. Almost nothing stands out anymore. You learn to deal with the cards you were dealt. My parents always felt like the pink house. Yes, our house was pink, was the worst house we lived in, but the houses after that stood out to me. The blue house on Dunham. So terrifying, I refused to step a foot in that house after we finally moved our last box out. The layout of the house was very unique. Mine and my sister's room was in a loft in the upstairs. My grandmother had a separate room just off of ours. I would sleep in her room regularly as my bed would always shake. And if my bed wasn't shaking, I was paralyzed, unable to move anything but my eyes, watching energy. I describe it as like a bubble underwater. You can see the outline, but you can see through it. I remember at 13 trying to lay down to read, and I was overwhelmed with this sense of despair, a sense of hopelessness. It was so strong I actually started to cry. My first thought was, oh my God, if this is puberty, until I put my book down and saw this black mass sitting at the end of my bed. I was in shock. I couldn't scream. I couldn't yell. Get out in the name of Jesus, like my grandmother told me to. It felt like an eternity before I could blink, but when I did, it was gone, though the dent at the end of the bed was still there. I jumped from my bed and ran down the stairs as fast as possible. It felt like if I didn't get down the stairs fast enough, something horrible was going to happen. The feeling of someone right on your tail about to catch you, the heart-pounding sensation of pure terror. I dreaded going up the stairs to that loft. I tried to always look down, as I once made the mistake of looking up at the rail to where the banister stood and saw a pale boy, like white skin with black eyes and a black bowl cut, expressionless, looking at me. It ran towards my side of the loft, and needless to say, I didn't sleep in my room that night. Funny enough, I dreaded one place worse than I did the loft, the basement. And I will actually get into the basement in the next one, since this is already over 5 minutes.